Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend and welcome to Spy Money. Hello, Robert. Boy, did we have a Fed pump and dump last night. Actually, a pump. I expect the dump today is what I'm looking at. And we may not. Trying to call what the Feds are doing is somewhat difficult, I guess. And I've been trying my best to keep up with them, but it's hard. Well, playing the plays one day at a time is all we can do. And right now, I kind of think that I wasn't expecting the pump last night. I was expecting the pump today. And with good morning, Deb. With the pump last night, I knew they were going to dump and inject $500 billion into the market, but it was supposed to be today. And so I was really expecting a sell-off at opening yesterday. And then at, say, midnight, I thought that they would start pumping the money in, but they went one day ahead. So I think they actually started pumping the money in Friday is when it happened, because on Friday, right before close, is when we just started shooting up. And whenever we went up, I thought, well, we're just going to go up a little bit and then it'll probably gap down. I thought we would actually gap down, hit the circuit breaker, and then they would inject the 500 billion into the market. Well, I was totally wrong, completely wrong on that. They got me. So where we are right now, it looks like that the 500 billion they started pumping in right here, and it's kind of let's see here, go back over here. They've actually started off of this bottom down here, but I thought it was actually going to drop and probably break through on Friday and just keep on going. But they got me. The Feds got me. It seems like the Feds are always after you, and they got me and held me down to it and took my money. So I'm still in the trade right now. I still got puts, calls, shorts. It seems like no matter what you do, you just can't win in this crazy market that we're in. So we just have to stand back and grab a dartboard, and we can just put a bunch of stocks on that dartboard, and then we'll just throw a dart and hit one of them and pick a stock, and then we'll take a coin and we're going to flip that coin, and heads is calls, tails is puts. That's what it seems like we're going to be doing. So anyway, we just got to play the market for what it is and just start all over. This is Monday. This is a new day, and just go ahead and figure out what they're trying to do. Well, when you look at ES, this is not a perfect one, but it's somewhat of a head and shoulders. So you went up. It actually went up higher, but right here there was a lot of resistance. It come down, went up to here, and then it come down, and now we're back up to it and hit that same resistance level we're over here. So it looks to me like that we'll probably end up selling off today. I know that the Feds are pumping money into the market on Wednesday, which is probably going to be Tuesday now, because they did Sunday instead Friday and Sunday instead of Monday. So they're actually giving us the dates when they're going to do it, but then they change those dates so that they can try to steal more money from you. That's what the market makers do. So the only people making any money in this market, in my opinion, are the Feds. They're making a ton of money. And also the institutions, being like banks and so forth. The banks are the ones that are the Federal Reserve anyway. People think it's the U.S. government, but the U.S. government is not the Feds. It is banks. Just look it up. Google it. Find out who actually owns it, when it started. Back in the Nixon years, this is when it all started. And the government thought it was a great idea then, but the banks pulled one over on the government. So look it up. So now I think, based on the charts that I see and with what I know of the knowledge of the government stepping in with more stimulus money and so forth, putting it into the market, then it looks like this is probably going to sell off like it does every single time they dump money in it. Same with right here. They dump money in it and then boom, it pulls back. I believe that we'll probably come down to this resistance level here, which is about 2,400. Once we get down to there, I think it's going to probably pop up and touch around the 24.46. This is a real good support resistance here. And then it'll probably come back down to the 23.53, come back up to the 2,400, and then probably come on down to this next resistance level here, which is about the 2174. So I think that is the direction we're going, and it's going to be in a zigzag formation. So it's still in the accordance to what my plan was before. As far as these purple lines, you can look back in past videos to see what we're talking about. But I think that is the direction that we're going to go. It's just going to be a stair step coming down. So hopefully this is what actually happens. And by looking at it, I think that it will, go ahead and do it over the next few days. The Feds are going to be dumping money in another 500 billion on, I believe, Thursday. So this will need to happen by Wednesday, which could very easily happen. You're only looking at looking just about 400 points right here. But you can see the time frame. It could actually happen very easily. I hope it does. If it sells off to this point, and then the calls and so forth that we're in, the shorts and everything, we can get out of them. We can actually make some decent money. Won't make as much money as we'd planned on, but we can make some decent money, and then we can get out of them just before this bottom, and then just go ahead and put our money in the bank and let it sit there until we see what the direction is going to be. At that point, then we can jump back in. So I believe that is the direction we're going to go, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Then we go, let me change this back to this, and then let's go to gold. So gold, I'm still looking for gold to come back down. I think it may come back up and retest that top trend. I'm actually shocked that it hasn't. It is an inverted head and shoulders, which concerns me. So here's your shoulder, here's your head, here's your shoulder. There's a chance this may just keep on going. And if the market sells off like I think it will, then according to normal plan, this right here should keep on going up. And if it does, we're probably looking up in this area here, the 1925 area. So there's a good chance that we may end up going that way, because perfect head and shoulders right here, inverse head and shoulders. There's a shoulder, here's the head, here's the other shoulder. So let's take this one out. We don't need that. So this is a potential inverse head and shoulder. And if that is the case, then if it starts going that way, then I'm looking at maybe getting in some calls on gold. Now, based on typical trading, if the market sells off, gold should go up like that. So I'm okay with gold following like its normal pattern. I'm not okay with gold following the pattern it's always followed before in the past, like the past month or so. But this is a perfect inverted head and shoulders. You can't get any more perfect than that. So it's either going to hit here and bounce down and follow ES, or it's going to continue to rally here. So I personally think it's going to come down. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. But the downward is, I'm just leaning a lot more toward that based off of what we've been in. When you look at the 4 hour, I mean, it's just a perfect inverse head and shoulder though. So there's a good chance it may go ahead and rage today, or actually the next few days. And then if we go back into crude oil, what a disappointment. Crude oil ended up selling off, for a long time. Now it's come back up. It had a huge pullback last night, but it's actually coming back. So is it going to come back or not? I don't think so. I think this is just going to go ahead and sell back off. If you look at the chart here, let me pull this over. Right there. So we hit this right here before. We come up, we popped through it a little bit, and then it ended up selling off. We may come back up and test it again, but I would say that more than likely, based off of the news I hear about the Saudis and back and forth, I would say that we're probably going to go ahead and come back down to here again. I wish that it would actually come up and touch the 3304. That's where I'd like to see it. And you have all the multi-billionaires that are in the oil tycoons, as I call them, that are wanting this to go up. So I think they have a lot of influence. There's a lot of lobbyists and so forth that will make this actually work out. So I think that we'll probably, well, not probably, I think possibly continue to go up, but this could easily be like a head and shoulders type. So here's your shoulder, here's your head, and then right now it's going to form a dip right here for another shoulder. So come down to, say, let me look right here. Probably, I mean, that's really a good support right there. We'll probably come down and touch the 22.33. So I think we'll come down to about right here, and then it will turn back up, and then that's when it will take off. So this could happen. Let's see, this was a Wednesday to let's see, was that Wednesday? So it took like a week for this one to happen. So it's going to have to come down, and so probably over the next week this will probably come down and then come right back up. So that's what my guess is. And this market is really almost like a guess. The charts that I normally follow and stuff are not working on like the futures, but on stocks they're actually working out. And we go to DXY. Last night I ended up getting in a short on DXY. Actually not DXY, but on USD CAD, a Forex trade. And when I got into it, I saw how the market was going up, so I went ahead. When the market goes up, DXY will usually sell off. So I ended up getting in a short last night, and I played it, ended up getting, I think it was 35 or 40 pips on it, so I actually made some pretty decent money with it. This one I think is going to continue to sell off more, possibly. But where it's staying on the 15, I mean, there's a good chance this is going to come up and touch right here again, and it may end up coming down. On the dollar is usually the inverse of ES. So if ES will continue to sell off, which is what I think, then this may stay along this trend. And then for, say, tomorrow or the next day, this may come right on up and kind of almost consolidate across and then sell off. So I think that when probably Thursday, when the Feds start pumping the money back into the market, this is when it's going to sell off again. You can see here, this is on Friday, and it just started selling off and just continued to kind of, like a consolidation of a sell-off in it. And so we'll just have to wait and see what happens today in the market to find out where the dollar is going to go. With the dollar going up right now, that tells me that the market is probably going to go ahead and sell off today. But I don't think it's going to be long-term on the dollar just because of how this channel is going up. But if we look back, we can actually adjust this channel a little bit. Because this would actually be about right there. So it looks like we could probably come up to around the 101, possibly even this will be on Tuesday. So yeah, probably the 101.5, somewhere on through there, and then I think it'll pull back. That's what I think on the dollar. Dow Jones, I know that it's going to be up today because of what ES did. We won't see that until later. NG to me looks like it's going to sell off and come back down to this bottom channel here. So with it coming down to that bottom channel, that is going to be good if you get in puts or so forth. So I think that's the direction we're going to go with it. If we do that, then it'll probably come down here and then bounce back up. This will probably sell off with the market. And if it does, we're probably looking a sell off until about sometime Wednesday. And then Thursday, when they start pumping that money, then I think it'll take off again. NQ, the same as ES. We have a big old rally right here, and I think it's going to come down. We've got the same head and shoulder type atmosphere. It's not a perfect one. That's the only thing. It's definitely not a perfect one. But it is pretty close to being a straight head and shoulders. I still kind of fall in line with that, and I think this will actually sell off, come back down to here, probably bounce up a little bit, and then come right back down. That's the direction I'm going with it. I feel that we're going to have a pretty good sell-off over the next 2 days, and because every time the Feds dump money, it just they short it off as soon as it gets to the high of it. So the banks are just making a fortune off from it. If we go down to, let me open this up a little more. If we go down to VIX, the VIX is selling off, has been selling off for quite a while. I wish I'd got in puts up here, but I wasn't real sure about how VIX was going to play out with the market. There's a lot of consolidation right now, and I believe that the VIX is probably going to spike up again. If the market's selling off, then this is going to go back up. It's the way it works. It's the inverse. And Then if I go to USD, I'm just looking at it. Last night, this is the, let's see here. I caught this little move right here. I think I got in it like at, I think it was like around 1 in the morning. I think I got in. So I actually caught this little drop right here. And I caught this. And then about 2 in the morning, I ended up buying the cover because I was shorting it. And so I made some decent money with it last night. It was a good little trade. I think that it's going to, if the dollar goes up, this is going to go up. So I just don't think it's going to be very long term. It might pull back up to probably around this level right here, the 14182. So I believe that's where we'll end up being. And let's go to Walmart. What is going on with Walmart? Well, Walmart, I sold off on Friday. I sold off rolling through here. I just wanted out. I made about $1,000 or so on it. And I sold everything that I had except for my April calls. And I'm hoping to get out of those. I'm going to probably be holding a bag on those. I got them at the wrong time. It was just a mistake. But the thing that concerns me is, Walmart is a double-edged sword right now. We have a store that is, in the last 8 weeks had 30% more sales online than it ever, than it did before, and we have the last 4 weeks has sold 20% more in store than what it had previously. So Walmart is just busting wide open with profits right now, but in Canada, they shut down all the stores. I forgot what day it is. I think it's Thursday maybe. They're shutting down all the stores, or maybe they already have. So Canada is shutting down everything. Walmart has got to come to, hello John and Billy. Walmart has ended up, they're starting to rope off some of the retail in the store. They're allowing grocery shopping only. And they've got lines with the blue tapes out, making people file, walk in a single file, staying away from people. They're only letting so many people in the store. I mean, this is just, think about this. You got people that are stocking shelves. And you got people making the product, moving the product, packing the boxes, unpacking the boxes, putting on the shelves. All these people come through. They grab some green beans and they said, no, I don't want those. I want this other one. So everybody's touching everything. So going in the store to buy stuff and they're using cash, or they're using their ATM card or debit cards or credit cards, whatever, everything's being touched. So, when you go to the grocery store, you're highly infected with all this. And so really to limit people from going into a grocery store, there's one of our Discord members had posted a picture this morning where he went to Walmart this morning, and there was a line backed around the building. People waiting to go in to buy some groceries. They're limiting how much you buy. You can only buy a few cans at a time. You can't go in and buy like a case of a dozen or whatever. You can't do that. You go into Sam's now and it's the same way. So saying all this, how can Walmart continue to go up? So I don't know what's going to happen with Walmart. They had really kind of a good news and bad news that's happened. The market has rallied overnight. So with the market going up, that's what brought Walmart up. But now that the market is starting to sell off, that's going to bring Walmart down. Typically, Walmart has been the inverse of ES. So if the market is going down, Walmart's been going up. But in the last week, it's been doing total opposite. So if the market was going down, Walmart went down. It just changed right in here is when it changed. So I don't know what's going to happen with Walmart. I'm really kind of confused to even try to predict it. I'd like to see it come back up and at least test the 128.08 again. But I actually thought that Walmart was going to be coming up into the 130s. And I didn't think it would be doing it Friday or maybe even today, but I thought over this week that's where I thought it would be. So right now I'm kind of undecided what it's going to do. It looks like it's probably going to sell off. And if it does, then, that's just, I understand it, but I don't understand it based on the news. So we'll just have to wait and see what actually does happen with it. And I don't know why it does that, but we'll have to wait and see what happens today. It looks like, I mean, we're getting a green candle there, so it's starting to, maybe possibly turn around. If we go back into a 5 minute to see what it's doing, it looks like Walmart, may take off. So, we'll just have to wait and see on it. I'm a little undecided with Walmart. Go down, I want to hit TLT. TLT dropped off big time last night. So I'm hoping that TLT will end up raising again. If it does, that tells me the market's selling off. But TLT could possibly drop a little more before it takes off again. So I'm not real sure what's going to happen there. If we go back into a 4 hour, 4 hour looks like it's probably pulling off. We're under the 15, and we've actually broken this trend, which is no longer in effect. So I would say that probably pulling back. And if we go to a daily to look more long term, daily is just a lot of red candles in there where we're pulling off. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. I'd like to see it go up and test above the 180 is where I'd like to see it. But we'll have to wait and find out on it. And then if we go to, let's see here, let me look at a couple more and we got to get off here. We got Netflix. Netflix actually looks pretty good to me. I'm in calls on it. I bought calls, I think Thursday maybe. But I'm bullish on Netflix right now. They're getting a lot of members signing up. So I just think Netflix is probably going to do really well right now. And if we look at Kohl's, I got in puts, I think right over in here around Wednesday or Thursday. And, I'm still on Kohl's, it's retail. They're shut down. I don't know how they could actually stay open, but, it very well may go ahead and turn and come back up. I think we'll probably test this 15 and pull back down again. So we'll just have to wait and see. I thought Kohl's would actually come down to the $5 range, but now I'm not so sure what it's going to do. The market's got everything just kind of turned up. Well, not the market, but the Feds. They've turned the stocks around. And I know that's what they're trying to do, but it's actually hurting the economy in a sense that I think that they're not allowing it to fall to get to where it needs, to where the big guys will come in and start buying it up. JetBlue, I'm still bearish on that one. I think it's pulling back. Had news on the Discord channel today of how there's not very many people flying now. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if JetBlue went into bankruptcy before long, unless the federal government comes in to bail them out. And they're in the talks about doing that now. I've had small businesses all my life, and I never had the federal government come in to help me. The airlines, fend for yourself. If you can't make it, then shut down and allow someone else to come in and buy it up. I don't think we should be jumping in, just bailing everybody out. I think they allowed their stocks and their planes and everything else to go in disarray just so that they can get the money. It's all big game to them. So I'm still bearish on this one, so we'll just have to wait and see how long that will last. I may go, the way the market's turning, I may go ahead and sell my puts here in this week, and before the market actually gets turned by the 500 billion. This is actually forming a W. So I think this will came down to like 661, and then it may take off. So we'll have to see on that. BA, everybody likes BA. BA looks like it's trying to turn here. This is on a 4 hour. It looks like it actually found a support and looks like it's coming above the 15. We'll wait today and see what happens if it continues to go up. So it looks like BA is actually turned for the good. So I think we may have just found the support on it. And if that's the case, then that's kind of says the same with the market. When you start seeing a lot of the stocks start turning like it's turning, that's a sign that we are probably reversing. And I've said for the last week or so that I felt that we were probably going to start reversing on Wednesday, based off of the news that's been coming out with the virus and so forth, and also with how the Feds are starting to pump money, and there's a lot of variables. So I've been thinking for a week that Wednesday we're going to turn around. Actually, Wednesday be the last day, and then Thursday turn around. Go to ABT. ABT is actually looking pretty good to me. I don't know if the announcement came out Friday or not, but it looks like ABT, they were the ones making the 5 minute test. They shipped out a bunch of them, so the boxers are going out. I believe the ABT is probably going to rally, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens with it. But I'm pretty bullish on that one. And then Billy wanted me to pull out CODX. That is one, I haven't looked at this in a while, you can tell. This one had something to do with the coronavirus. I can't remember what exactly it was, but it looks like it's been pretty bullish to me. It had a big old spike, so they must have come out with news. I don't really know a lot about it. I do know that this right here was over the coronavirus. They had some sort of testing or something. They were supposed to make the drugs or something like that, and that's why it took off. I haven't been a big fan. I haven't even played this one. This is, to me, kind of like a pump and dump. Most of those biomedical places are, and I think that's what this is. So if it may go ahead and take off. It looks like it's been in a good downtrend, and if you look at let's see here, if you probably so if you pick up these right here, naturally it went up over top of it, but you can pick up these candles right here. I mean, to me, it looks like it's probably just pump and dump, just like it did over here, and then it pumped up here and dumped, and it can pump again. It's just got these little ones. So to me, it's not for me. I think that maybe it might take off, but I'm just not a fan of it. I don't play those when they're kind of like a penny stock. I mean, this thing went from $2.94 to $26. That's just a pump and dump. So the people that bought down here, they're still probably selling off. They probably just had sold off a bunch right here, bought up some more, and then they've just been bleeding it. And this thing is just in a continual down pattern, and it'll eventually, in my opinion, come back down to where it was trading. I mean, look at this. It was 85 cents back in December. It was 85 cents. In let's see, right here it was, what date is that? 123. So January, it was trading at less than $1. So I just think it's a pump and dump. 2 million or 2M or ZM, Zoom. I don't have my glasses on. It's hard to see the fine print on YouTube. Zoom, they had something. There was some news that came out about them with something about where they were the encryption or something on the software, and it was actually not secure as it should be, and so it started selling off. So I don't know where Zoom's going to be. Zoom is something, I actually am going to be using Zoom here real soon. I've already paid for it. I'm setting up the platform. But Zoom is a very good company, and I mean their software works great, but for what I use it for, I don't really care about the encryption. And we're going to be using it in our Discord channel because we're getting a lot of members, and the Discord live stream will not be working over, I think it's 10 members normally, and since the coronavirus, they've upped it to 50, and we're starting to get a lot more people signed on, so I'm going to have to start using the Zoom. But when you look at this one, and you look how it's under the 15, so in my opinion, this is puts all the way down, so taking out data and collecting data. Okay, so I don't really care what they collect on me because there's nothing really private about it other than just our Discord members. But there's a lot of companies using it that can't afford that. They have secrets that they're sharing back and forth, and Zoom is actually pulling that out. So that really hurt their stock. So let's go back to ES, and we're going to close this out to see what's happening with it. Looks like we are, go back to a 15. Looks like we are getting below the 15, and we're trying to pull back. So I'm still going to stick to what I said about, I think we will end up pulling back. Not all of it today, maybe so, but I think by tomorrow, I think we'll be back down to the 2400 level, thereabout, and then it'll probably just pull back like this right here, just a zigzag. Some people call it different things. I call it a zigzag. Zigzag, some people calling it harmonic, some people Elliott wave theory or whichever. It's more of a zigzag to me. And that's where I think we're going to be on the market. We'll have to wait and see. I just don't. The Feds keep on pumping the money in, and if we were down at the bottom, I can understand the Feds doing it. But right now, what they're doing is actually disrupting the market, and they just need to let the market kind of go with the flow. I mean, all of this right in here is all federal money. So you go back to the 1 hour. The Feds start pumping money right here. Feds pumped it, and then it sold off. They come down, they pumped it again, it sold off. They pumped it again, it sold off. And they pumped it again, sold off. So every time they pump it, you can see the big old spikes here. That's when the Feds are in. Now right through here, and then pump it again, it sold off. Pumped it again, and that's going to sell off. So the money that they're putting in is just not necessarily helping. It's actually just caused consolidation. But that consolidation is kind of holding this particular level. It's not letting it get back down to 2174. But I just don't think monopoly money is going to be working for very much longer. And that's what this is. All monopoly money right here. It's all fake money. It's our grandkids will never be able to pay off what the federal government is spending right now. And until they just allow this market to kind of work the way it's supposed to work and just let it come on down, we have over 10 million people out of work right now. And the numbers are increasing every week. This Thursday, I think it's going to be a lower number because the majority of Americans are already laid off. So this Thursday, whenever it comes out and it's a lower number, it is probably going to spike because they're going to say, hey, the unemployment's not down as much as it was last week. That's good news. Well, that's because everybody's laid off. It's just fake news. So that's why I think Thursday is going to be the day that we take off. And just so happens on Thursday is when they're putting $500 billion back in the market. So I'm hoping that I can get out of all my puts, shorts, and everything by Wednesday. And then I'm going to just sit back and I'm going to wait. I'm not going to buy any calls or anything. I'm just going to wait. And then when the market starts moving, then I'll start playing the futures and buying contracts to where I can go long on it and I can just ride it up. So I think that we're going to sell off until then. And then on Thursday, we're going to get lower numbers for the unemployment. And then Friday, we're going to have the jobs report come out. So I don't know what's going to happen on that because we're actually like the retail, Walmarts and places like that, and pizza delivery places and all that, they are hiring like crazy. So I think that we may get a great jobs report on Friday because of all the jobs that they put in place, even though we lost 10 million jobs. So this is all about, look at my right hand while I slap you with my left hand. That's what all this is. And if you do that enough, eventually America's going to wise up and see that left hook coming instead of just taking the blow. So this can't last forever. A lot of people think that we're going way down lower. I personally think that I think eventually we're going to be in the 1700 level. I do definitely believe that we'll be in the 2031, but I think we're going to be hit the 1700 level, where everybody's out of work. No one's working. You're not allowed to leave the house. You can't go on the beach. You can't. You got drive-throughs open. A drive-through restaurant is open, and a lot of places that are sit-down places only are actually doing drive-throughs. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with it. But that's my take on the market. If you are not part of our Discord group, we talk about this all day long. We help each other. We do the call-outs, what I'm trading, what other people are trading, and it's actually a really good group to actually help cope with your losses like we've had in the last week. And I made some money last week, but there's a lot of things I'm red on. And I'm red because of all this consolidation. So if you want to go ahead and click on the link below, you can get signed up today, get joined in, and we'll do charts and everything all day long. We do a live stream. We just try to help each other. It's a great group. It's like a little family, and we all get along great, sharing different ideas and so forth. So I really like it. So if you would, please like this video. I see 4 likes on there. If we can get some more, share this video, and let's. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. So I will see you in the Discord channel members and your YouTube people. I'll see you tonight. You all have a great day, and I hope you go green.